Imagine you're a farmer in a small Mexican town, and you're facing the driest season of your life. This isn't a story from a dystopian novel or a Hollywood movie. This was the reality for Ariel, a hardworking farmer in the spring of 2024. Ariel was not just any farmer. He was a man whose life was deeply rooted in the soil he tilled. His hands, weathered by the sun and work, bore the legacy of generations of farmers who had cultivated the same land before him. Ariel's life was a cycle of seasons and harvests, a rhythm that sustained not only his family, but also his community. But 2024 was different. The land was parched, the sky was a relentless blue, and Ariel was in the midst of the most severe drought he'd ever faced. His fields of corn and beans, usually a lush green, were wilting under the relentless sun. The water wells, life's very essence, were drying up, and with each passing day, Ariel's hope was drying up too. Ariel's crops were not just plants. They were his life's work, his family's sustenance, and his community's lifeline. The threat of losing them was not just a personal defeat for Ariel, but a potential disaster for his entire community. But Ariel was not a man to accept defeat easily. He was a fighter, and he had an unwavering belief in the wisdom passed down to him by his ancestors. As he walked through his arid fields, he remembered a technique his grandfather had once taught him. A technique that could potentially save his crops and his community. With the water wells drying up, Ariel found himself staring at a potential disaster. But, armed with the wisdom of his ancestors, and a determination that was as unyielding as the drought, Ariel was ready to face the crisis head-on. This was not just about saving his crops, it was about preserving a way of life, a community, and a legacy, and Ariel was ready for the challenge. But in the face of adversity, Ariel remembered an old technique his grandfather taught him. The technique was simple yet effective. His grandfather had shared stories of dry seasons, not unlike this one, where he had used infiltration trenches to salvage their crops. These trenches, his grandfather explained, were dug around the field, acting as a network of subterranean channels. When the rain fell, instead of the water running off the surface, it would seep into these trenches and infiltrate the dry soil beneath. This way, even the scarce rainfall could be used to its maximum potential. With this memory in mind, Ariel made up his mind. It was time to bring back the old technique, the wisdom of his ancestors. He took his shovel and began to dig. Day after day he worked, etching a network of trenches in his parched field. His hands were blistered, his back ached, but his spirit remained unbroken. The community watched from afar, their brows furrowed in skepticism. Some whispered about the futility of his efforts. They said it was a wasted effort, a desperate attempt to fight the unforgiving drought. But Ariel, he didn't pay heed to their words. He knew what he was doing. He had faith in the wisdom of his grandfather and the resilience of the earth. Days turned into weeks. The sun blazed down, relentless, but Ariel worked on, his determination unwavering. Some of his neighbors, inspired by his perseverance, joined in. Together, they dug, their shovels rhythmically hitting the ground, carving a path for the rain to follow. Undeterred by the skepticism, Ariel worked tirelessly under the scorching sun. With each trench he dug, he was not just fighting for his crops, but also for his community, his heritage, and the generations to come. He was planting the seeds of resilience, and with it, hope for a better tomorrow. It wasn't long before Ariel's determination began to inspire his neighbors. His unwavering resolve under the unforgiving sun, his hands, calloused and worn, tirelessly working the earth, began to change the skeptical whispers into murmurs of admiration. As the days slipped into weeks, Ariel's solitary figure was no longer alone. One by one, his neighbors started to join him, their spades and shovels breaking ground in solidarity. More trenches began to appear in the sun-parched landscape, each one a symbol of their collective hope and resilience. This was community engagement at its finest, a testament to the power of unity in the face of adversity. Together they worked, their labor a shared language that transcended words. The once isolated farmer was now at the center of a community-wide effort, his innovative idea uniting them in a common goal. As they worked, anticipation hung heavy in the air, a palpable sensation that was as much a part of their labor as the sweat on their brows. They were not just preparing the land, they were preparing for the rain. Every trench dug, every bead of sweat shed was a prayer for the skies to open up and bless their efforts. Their days were filled with hard work, their nights with dreams of green fields and bountiful harvests. Conversations revolved around the weather, every gust of wind analyzed, every change in temperature discussed. The community was no longer just a group of individuals, they had become a team, bound by a shared dream and a shared struggle. The day the first clouds appeared on the horizon, a collective sigh of relief swept through the community. As they watched the sky, their faces turned upwards, their hearts filled with hope. The trenches were ready, the soil was waiting, now it was all up to the rain. As the clouds gathered, the community watched with bated breath. They had done everything they could. Now it was time for nature to play its part. The anticipation was electric, the air heavy with a mix of anxiety and hope. But whatever the outcome, one thing was clear. They had faced adversity together, and that in itself was a victory. Then the rains came, and the miraculous happened. Ariel's field, once dry and lifeless, began to show signs of life. The trenches, a testament to his sweat and determination, worked their magic. As the rainwater seeped into the ground, the parched soil drank it up with a thirst born of long, dry months. The crops, once on the brink of withering away, began to thrive. The corn stalks stood tall, their leaves vibrant and green. The beans, too, sprouted healthy and strong. It was as if Ariel's field had been brought back to life. But the miracle wasn't just confined to Ariel's field. The surrounding lands, too, benefited from the infiltration trenches. The water seeped into the soil beyond Ariel's field, nourishing the neighboring crops. The once skeptical community watched in awe as their fields, too, began to flourish. The surprise was palpable, the joy infectious. Farmers who had watched Ariel with skepticism now looked at him with respect and admiration. The man they had once doubted had not only saved his own crops but theirs too. Ariel's success was a beacon of hope in a season of despair. The harvest that year was bountiful. Corn and beans filled the storage sheds, enough to feed the community and even sell at the market. The fear of hunger and loss was replaced with joy and abundance. Ariel's field wasn't just a field anymore, it was a symbol of resilience, a testament to the power of innovation and tradition. But the success of that year's harvest wasn't just about the crops, it was about a community that had come together in the face of adversity. It was about an old technique passed down from generation to generation that had saved the day. It was about a man named Ariel who had dared to try something different and had emerged victorious. Ariel's field flourished, and so did the surrounding lands. Ariel's story is a testament to human resilience and creativity. It's a reminder that even in the face of adversity, we can find solutions, we can thrive. Ariel's story is our story. As long as we dare to innovate, to try, to hope, we too can flourish. News of Ariel's triumph spread far and wide, bringing hope and change. Farmers from all corners of the region, facing the same parched reality, began to look towards Ariel's simple yet effective solution. The technique, once dismissed as an old man's tale, was suddenly the beacon of survival for these hard-working souls. Fields that were once a canvas of dry and cracked soil now brimmed with the promise of a bountiful harvest. The effects of Ariel's ingenuity extended far beyond farming. The community, once divided by skepticism and despair, now stood united, their spirits rejuvenated. The trenches became a symbol of their collective resilience, a testament to their unwavering will to fight and survive. The trenches also served as a physical reminder of the power of collaboration and unity. As they worked together to dig these trenches, the people found strength in each other, a sense of camaraderie that was born out of shared struggle and triumph. Ariel, the humble farmer, was now respected and admired as a leader, a visionary. His tenacity and belief in an ancestral technique had not only saved his crops but had also transformed the fate of his community. His story was no longer just about successful farming, it was the story of a man who dared to believe, who dared to challenge the status quo, and in doing so, changed the lives of many. And so, Ariel's legacy was etched in the heart of his community. His story was passed down from generation to generation, serving as a constant reminder of human resilience and creativity. His spirit of innovation, his respect for ancestral knowledge, and his unwavering belief in the face of adversity were lessons that would inspire many generations to come. Ariel's story is a testament to human resilience, creativity, and the value of ancestral knowledge. His life serves as a reminder that no matter the adversity we face, it is our determination, our courage, and our ability to think outside the box that paves the path to triumph.